Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is video number 3 in the interesting facts about the Pontiac Fiero series of videos. In today's video, we're actually going to be covering something on the GT models. This is an 88 GT, just for reference, that if not done properly can cause some pretty expensive damage to your car. So the GT models have a wing that has, all things considered, a little bit of weight to it, which adds weight to the rear deck lid. Now you noticed how gently I raised that. There is a modification that you may want to consider, and it is this aftermarket strut for the hood that limits the engine deck lid travel. It physically prevents it from traveling any further than the mechanical limit of that strut. The reason for that is very simple, and I learned this from a gentleman named Paul, who is gracious enough to let me do this video on his 88 GT. If you take this off and you take away the weight from the deck lid, or if you open your trunk in windy conditions and you don't control the upward movement, what will happen, and I'm just going to slowly demonstrate this, if you don't have this strut to limit the movement, see how the hood tries to continue to move? It will overexert it will put too much stress on the pivot mechanism, and it will cause, when those mechanisms bend past their design limit, it will actually cause, and you can see the clearance here, it is extremely close, like I can barely put my fingers in there. It will cause the engine deck lid to move too far, contact the rear glass of your car, and bust it. Now, we all know how expensive that would be. I'm sure you could probably find one. You probably couldn't find one instantly, and the expense of having that installed, oh goodness. All of that can be avoided by the addition of this aftermarket strut. Now, they can be found, by searching the internet. Nobody endorses, or I don't do endorsements. I'm not paid to endorse anybody's specific product. So I typically, unless I purchase the product from somebody, I typically don't, say, hey, go buy this here, go buy this there. But those are available online, and it will physically limit the travel of your engine deck lid. Let's see if we can get a better view right here. Maybe not, but you can see, like I said, it is exceptionally close. And when that mechanism pivots past its intended design limit, you're going to hear a very expensive crash. The sound of busted glass. So if you have a GT with or without the fin, I believe they all came with fins, but like I said, he learned from taking his off and doing maintenance on the car that the weight subtraction on the hood will allow the hood to fly up on its own without wind, causing it to move past its intended design limit. So it's probably a good idea on any Fiero, truthfully, because on my SE, the only thing I have is the little black roof rack. And if you're out in the wind, whatever, and you pop your hood and the wind happens to be blowing in that direction, oh my, you have made a very expensive mistake. So, as always, if you watch my channel regularly, you know that my intent and goal with this channel is to produce entertaining and educational content. And I hope that if you have a Fiero, you found this content entertaining and educational. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel, as I will continue to make videos on not only the Fiero but other cars that provide useful information to the automotive enthusiast. So, as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.